Àlàáfíà, àlàáfíà, good people. Àlàáfíà, àlàáfíà, good people. Àlàáfíà, àlàáfíà, good people. Àlàáfíà, 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 good people. I always Hey, Barbara, how you doing? Alafia. Alafia, alafia. So, Barbara, did you get the advertisement for the fall classes? I know that you would be in Cracking Ancestral Code 2 and or spiritual activism, right? Because you're a steady student. Mhm. Mhm. It's so good to see you. I'm really work yeah, okay. Okay. Good, 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 good. We are on the brink of really generating community. We're on the brink of being able to have so many people connecting to so many other people, right? That we gonna get through these coming years that are challenging us so much, right? I think that the powers that be have an agenda, and our welfare is not at the top of that agenda. However, we know the power of community. We know what happens when we stand and work together. And so, that's where our work is for today. So, I'm doing these YouTube videos and going on Instagram to get the word out, right? To people about all the activities that we've got going. I think that this fall is probably going to be one of the fullest, um, deepest that I've had in a long time. You know, one of the miraculous things about it is we have acquired and are raising funds for an amazing space here in the Bay Area where we'll be able to do a lot of stuff on the land. And I'm also connecting with people in other parts of the country, well, other parts of the city, other parts of the country, and around the globe so that in 26, between 26 and 28, I expect that we will have a global network of of spiritual centers so that we can send energy across the land and across the waters to concentrate on protection from the negative influences and provisions to keep us going. Okay. And this is the kind of thing I will be concentrating on in those classes. So, if you know anybody who is sitting on the fence or wondering, can they afford it? Should I do it? Can we afford it? You definitely should do it. and let them know that we have payment plans for folks, right? I was talking to a young woman earlier today who was telling me that when I asked about her ancestors, she said no, um, her people don't want to give her any information about their family. Well, we know from past experience that that is often the case, where the elders don't want to talk because there's been things going on that they just want to put behind them. They just want to forget, right? But that stuff is crawling around in folks' psyche. And so if they won't give us objective information, we have to find stuff out subjectively through dreams and meditations and stuff like that, so that you can bring it forth and deal with it. And then the other thing that I find is that once relatives see that you are serious and that you also are not doing the work in order to blame them, but in order to bring forth your own uh-huh. Oh yeah, effective prayer. See, there's so much here's one of the things that I really need to do, Barbara. I want to figure out how to do a survey of what people are interested in, how many people are interested in it, and when is the best time to provide it. Because what happened this past summer, there were a lot of people saying that we needed to deal with trauma. Okay, I must have had, I would say, if I look at the analytics, I would say I had somewhere like 80 people who was saying that they really, really needed a workshop around trauma. And so when we advertised, we designed it, I lined up some magnificent healers who can address the problem, including Raven, who does brain spotting, and Omi, who does sound baths. We know who the people are who have the services. But then when it came time for sign up, you know, there were only 17 people who signed up. Um, I need to hey, Kelly, I really need to survey what is pressing for people and what they need to deal with immediately. Now, because you are going to be in the both the ancestor cracking the ancestral code and the elements of ritual, all you have to do, Barbara, is as we progress in that class, when we get to the point of talking about invocations and talking about direct personal relationship to the ancestors, I want you to bring up the subject of effective prayer again so that we can take the deep dive into it. There are various formulas and various combinations uh, that bring effectiveness. You know, we make a distinction between meditation, invocation, and declaration in prayer as prayer. And so, if you will just, when we get to that part in the class, if you will just say, yeah, yeah, remember, we wanted to talk about effective prayer, the effectiveness of prayer. And then we can see, we can talk about it. Oh, look at my post shirt, honey. There we go. We can talk about it. We can survey how many people um in the class are particularly interested in that, right? Okay. And, the way we're structuring the classes, they're designed to correspond to a lot of the work that we're doing with the ancestors in that season. Okay. So there's wisdom circle, there's wisdom sharing, where I'm putting out information. The guests, priests and priestesses that I have coming are putting out information. There's your readings, the YouTube videos, the music and stuff to listen to, the conversation between us in class. And then, of course, there's homework. Homework. So always after the last class, there is a month for people to wrap up everything that they've learned, have a particular project, and report back for the capstone. It's always interesting to see what kinds of inspirations come out and what kinds of projects people want to fulfill. What is really wonderful about the way we're doing it this time is that people who are 1 and 2 are sharing the sessions, okay? I will be talking to both levels about what they need to do, and it is my hope that some of the people who are in code 1 will agree to work with those who are in code 2, even as part of the class and even outside the class. Now, y'all know that we're incorporating as a church with an educational component, and I am working on formulating the right way to do it, especially once we have residents and people can come into town for rituals and don't have to go looking for an Airbnb or a hotel all over the place. But right now, the way I'm sort of looking at it is doing quarterly intensives, yeah, with a lot of work in spring and especially the ancestral season in the fall. Okay. Making summer and winter times when we can either travel to sacred sites, right? People can have writing and artist residencies, working fawn, welcome. Working in the gardens here is going to be part of it, and working with the indigenous people. There are so many possibilities, right? That another thing I want to put out there is people will be able to, like, if you're interested in permaculture or landscaping or something like that, we'll be able to hook you up with learnings in that regard, and those learnings can go towards your certificate, or you can get credit through your local college. There's so many possibilities. There's so many possibilities. We are looking at building a longhouse, having a yurt, having a sweat lodge and a labyrinth, right? And a healing hut specifically for that. There's a lot of work that we have to do to overcome the attacks that are coming our way. So I want to put out here that I know that there are people who have talents and who have desires, you know. And so I would like to hear from folks. Who is the person who has been dreaming of a beautiful herb garden, but they don't have a place to do that? You got a place to do that, right? You got a place to do that. Who is the person who really needs to get away into nature in order to write? Hello, Josephine. You know, if you need to get away for somewhere to write, we're gonna have a place. We're gonna have a place, and what I'm anticipating the most is people being able to meet each other, work on the land, do the creative projects, and being able to connect with people in other places. All of this is growing out of us meeting in the classes, okay? But like I said, day after tomorrow, I'm having a conversation with some sisters in South Africa, okay? And we are talking about having an indigenous storytelling festival in South Africa. I know some of y'all want to go. I know some of y'all want to go. You know, so this is the kind of thing that we want to be taking a look at. Also, Patreon. You know, there's different tiers of Patreon. There's one tier where we do the new moon money pouring, and people have been telling me there's good result. You know, with the new moon money pouring. Again, I say anybody who hits the Powerball, I get 10%. There's the full moon burden burning, which is designed to release trauma and, you know, bring you up out of depression. And then we're thinking about adding another tier. We have to work on it to see who really wants it. But this is for people who are seriously on their spiritual path. Some of the people will be people who've been initiated in various traditions and either don't have community, or I'm finding a lot of people have been initiated and then the elders die, or there's some kind of alienation and they are left without anywhere to study. Okay, to study and to work. Work is one of my favorite words. And so we will definitely be looking to address the needs of the community as we expand the community. Okay. I'm inspired to just share something with you. I wish I could remember the sister's name so that I can give her full credit. But there's a Black woman judge who comes on television sometime, right? And she had gang boys in Los Angeles coming before her. And you know, the usual routine is a boy get caught with a gun or he gets caught in a fight and they throw him in jail, and he's in the school to prison pipeline, and he ends up in prison with a hardened criminal, and now he's been made into a real criminal. Okay. Well, you know, her idea was, instead of sending that boy to prison, she sentenced him to work in the garden at an AIDS camp in South Africa. And this is strict, you know, separating him from his boys. This is putting him in a place where he's seeing people suffer. This is giving him bottom line work that is attached to people's survival. And she gave him 1 year, which is long enough to change his neural patterns and his habits. Okay. That boy came back from that and went immediately to his gangs and said, this killing each other and shooting up the neighborhood, this is not manhood. This is not what men ought to do. I have seen a different world. And he completely change the nature of that neighborhood. I want you all to know that because the reading this year, we know that the women have been carrying the movements. The women have been protecting the environment. You know, the women have been in the forefront. And this year they're saying it's time for us to cultivate a positive application of male energy. Okay. And so my Elay is going to be sponsoring an educational program for young boys where they'll be mentored by some strong men who have a decent definition of manhood. They will be educated in a non colonial way, and we'll see what comes out when our genius is cultivated and not, not clamped down. And I would like to see more exploration among the young women. We just did a course called Goddesses, Queens, and Spirit Women, and I want to offer some things that free our women from the pain of a social media guided image of self. I've been seeing some things that are just ridiculous. When I was young, I was one of the people, I was a fashion model in my 20s, and we were deliberately working to overcome Twiggy. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember that the idea of fashion then was a woman who had starved herself to death, so skinny that you could play piano on her spine. And this had nothing to do with the healthy, full bodied Black women in our communities. So we brought ethnic clothing in to show that people's fashion should fit their bodies. There are a number of things, there are a number of things that we can address in order to save ourselves. And we will be discussing this kind of stuff, especially in the spiritual activism class. So I want to encourage people to definitely sign up. We have payment plans, we have ways of working across continents, actually, not just across cities. And as much as possible, we will have direct involvement with each other around ceremonies. If it's not possible to be in person, we'll live stream, and we'll also share ideas around what kinds of things we can do. I Before I go, I just wanted to share something. She who whispers in my ear told me to share with you all that there was a neighborhood in the Midwest that was being plagued by violent crime, right? And one of the mothers of the neighborhood called me and said, "Yeah, yeah, what do you think we should do?" I opened my D Lagoon, and oh, yeah, the goddess of the winds of change was speaking. And as the divination continued, and here you go with effective prayer, as the divination continued, what became clear was that the air was full of violence and stagnation. And so, somebody up over here get mad, and it would move over there and get mad, and then this person over here would fight, and then that fight would lead into until somebody was killed. And so, what the prescription was that they decide on a common, peaceful scent. I think it was something like rose or magnolia, something that's associated with domestic harmony. And they bought 60 pinwheels, those little, toy like things. They bought 60 pinwheels, and everybody sprayed the pinwheels with this scent. and put them around in the yard, right? And those things literally blew the violence out of the area, changed the scent. Uh-huh. Okay, virtual vanity. Yes, there's death in the air. See? And these are the kind of things that we'll be doing because those pinwheels ran that energy out. Those of you who smudge your house, imagine smudging your whole block. Imagine smudging your whole neighborhood so that you can get that out. One of the things that we are planning here in Oakland, and I want you all to pray for my cash flow so that I can do all of these things. We're considering a masquerade to chase evil out of the village. Okay. This is a practice among the people, among the women in Sierra Leone particularly, where they wear these masks and they go through the village making noises and sounds. And I've done stuff in the past with beating on pots and pans to change the atmosphere. So we will be discussing these kinds of things in spiritual activism. Those of you who are in the Bay Area, please know that this weekend and next weekend, um, in downtown Oakland, 30th and Martin Luther King, there is a festival for Yemaya and Oshun that is really amazing. Yeah, relaxing sounds. Seats are filling fast, and yes, you can pay in increments. Yes. Please, come on in. You know, if you're sitting on the edge wondering, is this for me? Yes, this is for me. Yes, we are the first 16 days of December. We're going to participate in what's called Achofun, where you wear white clothes. Wear white clothes for 16 days, uh, inhabit the virtues of Obatala for 16 days. Let be meditative, be humble and compassionate, etc. And we let each other know that we are raising that vibration. We are raising that vibration. And then in Maile, at the end of the year, we're going to, some people do Omolu at the end of the year, but we've done a whole year of Omolu because of so many viruses and illness that's going around. But given the instructions that I'd received, we do Yemaya and Olokun at the end of the year. We call it the sea celebration. The sea celebration. Okay. Um, oh, so you thought it was this week? Wearing white all week? Let me tell you something, baby. It's always a good thing. If you have the feeling that I should take a bath, you know, put on white clothes, sit quietly with a candle and a glass of water and a notebook, it could be because spirit is trying to tell you something, you know? Oh yeah, well if Obatala rules your house and Obatala is saying this week, oh yeah, definitely, because something refreshing is coming to your house, and that's what I would concentrate on if I were you. If you got the message to be in white this week, that's really good. You know what I'm saying? That's always a good thing. Of course, now we're facing my bias because I love Obatala. Oh, Batala keeps me out of trouble, y'all. Oh my God. There was a period some years ago when I was teaching at a school, I was uncomfortable. I really was not happy there. And I would get up in the morning and go sit with my Orishas, and I'd hear things like, mm, don't put your lesson plans in the department computer. Mm, don't be hanging out in the office, go teach your class, come home, sit down, be quiet. Make a long story short, there came this great debate, this great flurry, and I went to my altars, and Obatala told me, sit here, don't go nowhere, don't say nothing, which is hard for me because I'm a loudmouth, right? Just be still, be quiet, right? Me sitting at home, I avoided a whole big mess where the police was coming through the hallway, taking people's computers and lesson plans and picking up people's books, and folks were demonstrating in the street. And you know where I was? I was sitting in my shrine room talking to her about the lie and saying, I'm so glad nobody got a chance to throw palm oil on my white clothes, honey. When all this foolishness came down, it was very, very clear that Louise Satish was innocent. I ain't had nothing to do with none of that, you know. And Obatala has often put me in a position where the foolishness that's going on ain't got nothing to do with me. And sometimes it takes a while to get used to the way Obatala helps you because most of the time I want to get in the mix, honey. I got something to say. And if anybody want to fight, come on. But sometimes Baba say, uh-huh, yeah, you ain't got to do all that. So listen, go to my link tree. Those of you who want to enroll in classes, uh, we're making it as easy as possible, and the class is growing, 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 growing. I want you all to enroll. Know that I'm going to cap each class at 35 people, right? So that we can have some vibrant conversations. If it gets bigger than that, then we'll create other sessions. Also, know that I'm listening. Know that I am in touch with other teachers and elders who can also be brought on board to bring in specialized knowledge that you need. And know that when I'm not with you, I'm very busy writing books that will be available to you soon. Okay. So I've been running my mouth for half an hour now. Okay. And I am going to sign off, and I believe I will see you again on Friday. Today is Tuesday. I have a land view tomorrow and something else going. Oh, Thursday, I think, is the moon ritual. And then patron saint of the hummingbird. Oh, baby, we can talk about the hummingbird. I was talking to a hummingbird on Saturday. I had a magnificent book party at Feldman's bookstore in Menlo Park with, Jad with a what do you call it? African High Life band. The brother who led it used to play with Fela Kuti. The food, oh my God, the food that they served on Saturday. I just got through eating the leftovers yesterday. Okay. It was amazing. And I can tell you this, no matter what's coming down from the White House and the CDC and all the other places that are negatively impacting us this fall, we are not alone. We are not victimized, right? We are not sad. All right. I'll see y'all Friday. Thank you very much. Be sure to spread the word, share it, encourage your members to join. Love y'all.